Peace, people. It's me, Arlene J. Ramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self-wealth mentor. This segment, I would like to discuss depression, what causes depression, the signs to look out for, and what you can do to combat it without seeking medication or medical help. So here are the signs. The first up is uncertainty. Uncertainty about life overall will bring on depression. All forms of bullying, which also includes workplace bullying, verbal abuse and physical abuse, which turns into psychological abuse, which you guys know is of affecting your mental health and your emotional health. Stress, trauma, domestic violence, all forms of domestic violence, lack of respect, and lack of appreciation. Now, of course, you don't go into a deep state of depression overnight. All right, so you'll be in this situation and you're able to handle it directly at that moment, and the next day you're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. But undergoing this type of treatment has an insidious effect on you. Insidious. Now what I mean is it gradually breaks you down until you get to the point where you're in a deep state of depression. So you can take you can be going through this treatment for a span of 6 months to a couple of years before you end up in a deep state of depression, and you wouldn't know that you're in it. Okay, so let me tell you the signs to look out for. Slow speech, deep slow breaths. You know the breaths that you take when you go to the doctor and the doctor say breathe in, and you breaths like that, that's a sign. You won't do your hair, you won't dress like you usually do. You have a spaced out, far away look in your eye. It's like you're looking at a person, but you're looking past them. You recognize them, but you're so distorted that you can't snap out of it and say, oh, hey, Arlene, what's going on? Because you're so distorted. That far away look. You guys, if you're from the Newark area, you know what I'm talking about. Many of you have mentioned that just walking downtown, the people who are around that area look like zombies. That right there is a clear sign of a lot of those people may be going through some form of depression if they look like zombies, because that's how it is. It's like you're walking around and you're like this. And you're just going through the emotion. You will appear to be a zombie. You'll start to abuse alcohol, start to abuse narcotics. You'll walk slower, you'll stutter, you'll mumble your words. Now, of course, as I've mentioned to you guys, I've been in a deep state of depression 3 times in my life. So some of these are the signs, the things that I have been through, which I've mentioned in the first list, and some of the signs that I've mentioned here in the second list is what I have witnessed or noticed that I've been through. And I've also seen this in other people who were depressed. Now, here's how you can combat this without taking medication. Remember I said before that you wouldn't know that you are in a deep state of depression. So here's what I need you to do. First up, wherever it is that you are going to, whether it's home, work, or whatever it is that's stressing you out, if you're feeling very down every time you go to this location, chances are that you are suffering from depression. If your mood just drops at the think of going to work, and it has nothing to do with your workload, and everything to do with the atmosphere and your co-workers or maybe your boss, you're going through some form of depression. Same thing with your home. If that's how you feel when you have to go home, you're going through depression. So here's what I need you to do. This is imperative that you find time alone. This will have to be a regime where you find every day, I need you to find at least 30 minutes to an hour alone. Alone time. No children, no music, no people, no nobody. Maybe a park, sit in your car, whatever. And what I need you to do is focus on yourself and ask yourself honestly, what is it that makes you happy? And this is not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen the first day you sit alone. But gradually, things will start to come to you. What makes you happy? Deep down inside. I'm not talking about buying a pair of Giuseppe heel shoes. Okay? I'm not speaking about that. I'm talking about what makes your soul happy. Deep. The deep you. The inner you. Your soul. What makes that part of you happy? That's what I need you to discover. And that may take time. So I need you to start this regime every day. Ask yourself this. What is it? And then, let me reverse. When you're asking yourself this, I need you to have a notebook, because everything that comes to your mind, I need you to jot it down. ASAP. Jot it down. As soon as it comes to your mind, write that down. Write everything down. Now, when you feel that you've come to a good enough list, what I need you to do is move on to the next step. And the next step is asking yourself, how can you achieve all of this stuff that you've written down? Because you need to work on achieving it. What can you do to achieve this level of happiness? Because that's what you need to break you up out of that depression. All right. Next up, go for walks. You know, maybe you can find this question yourself and find yourself during a walk. Anywhere in the neighborhood or through the park. I love the park. I love nature. That's something that I do. When I go on the swings when I'm ready, that's what I do. Whatever you need to put you in a free state of mind, that's what I need you to do. Also, if you're experiencing workplace bullying, I need you to go and have checkups with your doctor, because you need that slip for whatever it is that the doctor diagnosed you with. I'm not telling you to take the medication, or if you want to, it's up to you. I did not take medication when they prescribed me with Xanax. However, I use that as my way out of that company. Okay, so what I need you to do is seek medical attention, medical help, so you can get the proper information on what's going on with you. And I need you to take that to your boss, because they need to do something about the situation which is causing you to be in a deep state of depression. They are responsible for your emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being in order for you to perform at the best of your ability. All right? This list is for the people who are around you who care, family members or friends. What I need you guys to do, because you know, this person may need help, because again, you don't know when you're in a deep state of depression. However, like the first time I was in a deep state of depression, I didn't know, but the last 2 times I knew. So all of this what I'm telling you to do is exactly what I've done, and that's what took me out of it. All right, so it works. It works like a charm. Okay, for the people that are around you, what I need you guys to do is be specific on what you're seeing with this person. You know how sometimes we see a person down and we're like, are you okay? And they say, yeah, they're okay, and you just leave it as that. You know, when a person is depressed, they don't know they're depressed, so they're going to tell you that they are okay. I need you to go one step further. I need you to say, well, okay, you say you're okay, but you look kind of spaced out, or you look like you're dreaming, like you're kind of far away. What's on your mind? I need you to say what you're seeing, because that will shock them into thinking, right? So if you're telling them that they're looking spaced out and far away, they're going to be like, oh, am I? Now that's going to make them question themselves, like, why am I looking spaced out and far away? Because they don't know what they look like. Okay, next up, offer to start taking them out for coffee, walks, gym, anything to take their mind off of what it is that's bothering them, and be their ear. And when I say their ear, they're listening. Be their partner, because they need to get some things off their chest. And if they can trust you, they will start to talk. They will start to talk and get these things off their chest. And maybe you can find a way where you can help them out, offer up some suggestions. Lastly, you want to compliment them on the things that they do great, because many times what I realize is and even myself and other people, when we do go in a deep state of depression, a lot of times we forget ourselves, because whatever it is that we're going through is the thing that takes importance, and that's what put us in that position in the first place. So you want to mention how great that, so if they make the best chocolate cake, you want to talk about that. Peace, people, we got cut off, but I left off with saying if they're good at making a great chocolate cake, or if they're great at making the best omelet, or if they're great at anything, organizing anything, let them know you want to shock them back into being proud of themselves and accepting that they're great at some things. And when you do that, that lets them know that they are needed for the things that they are great at, which you are not good at. And that gets them to saying, hey, yes, I'm important. Yes, I'm great. People need me. And again, that brings people back to that whole wholesomeness feeling of they are important, they are needed, they are validated. All right. And you'll be surprised with this regime. You can pretty much help someone get out of their state of depression within a span of 6 months. You know, if it's once you're constant, 6 months is all you need, and that can break them up out of it, depending on what it is that they're depressed at. And I also forgot death. Death is another thing that puts people in a state of depression. That should have been on the top of the list, but death is also one of the causes, and you know that takes much time. But depression is something that's very near and dear to me, because I grew up seeing it. My mom have suffered with bipolar, and I've seen it since I was about 5 years old or a little older, where my mom has been having nervous breakdowns every year. And she's been diagnosed with bipolar and have to take medication for that. So now here's the thing, when we don't handle depression, it causes either you or the people that's going through it to have a nervous breakdown. Now, a nervous breakdown is when they have a breakdown suffering from bipolar or schizophrenia, and then now they have to take medication for it. And not just that, you have to put them in a hospital, in a psych ward, and sometimes they're there for a couple of months, and when they're good to be released, the hospital will release them, and then now they're on medication. Some people have to be on medication for the rest of their lives, and some can be on medication for a short while, and then next thing you know, it's like they're good again. But you never know what type of person you will be and how you will end up. So you want to not go through ever having to have a nervous breakdown. And that's something I can say that I'm proud for. I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, I'm superwoman and I'm this and I'm that. But let me tell you something. I've made an oath to myself that I will never have a nervous breakdown. My grandmother have had him several times. My mom has had it several times. And I don't believe that it runs in the family. What I believe is why we also suffer and have nervous breakdowns is because we don't surrender to that serenity prayer. I don't know the full words, but we always have to go back to accepting things. Whatever happened, we have to accept that it happened and not fight against it, because we cannot change what happened. But the problem is, many times we try to change things that we cannot change. And because of that, it cannot change, or if it already happened, you want it to change and you want to wish it never happened, you're gonna stress yourself out and put yourself in a deep state of depression. Okay? And that also goes for all of this stuff on the list that I've mentioned. The first thing is recognizing that it's happening, accept that it's happening, but then you want to find out how you can remove yourself from the situation. And if you couldn't remove yourself at the time that it was happening, accept that. But do what you can from this point on to remove yourself from the situation, and then follow all the steps that I told you. And let me tell you something, it will work. It's going to work. It will work. Trust me when I tell you. It will work. All right? This is Arlene. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, the bottom of my soul, everything. You know, I'm still thinking about my girl Karen Washington, founder of For Brown Girls, and anyone else who have killed themselves because of depression. That goes for children who are being bullied in school. You know, they were in a deep state of depression and couldn't see a way out of their situation. That means they've lost hope. Losing hope causes people to do just that. And let's make a brighter tomorrow. You guys can do it. If I can do it, I know you can do it. All right, hit me up. I'll leave my information at the box below. Okay, peace.